Hello, hello. Um, yeah, it's been a while since I've done any streams. In fact, actually, I think it's been a couple of years at least. And I'm still doing stuff in Blender and switching between that and Second Life. Although I don't think I'll be going into Second Life today. But yeah, I'm still building in Second Life and yeah, making things. I've done quite a lot of things actually. I mean, I just always, keep building stuff in Blender. I just love it. And this new version is amazing. Um, what's prompted me to start streaming again was somebody that I followed this morning. There's a couple of people I followed this morning streaming. I was just watching them, doing some Blender and got chatting away, which was actually really quite nice. So the first person is Loxia Bun. Loxia Bun. And let's see if I can grab their right, so that's their link. And they recommended Loxia Bun recommended Nova Liminal as somebody else to watch if you're interested in Blender and stuff. I mean, they're doing game development and things like that, which is always good. I just love watching other people messing around in Blender, really. So that's all I'm going to do today. Is I've got some time on my hands. Thought I'd just chill out. I had a kind of a stressful couple of weeks, really, and yeah. So I just thought today I want to chill out. I just want to chill out, and if I can just, chill out and enjoy something in Blender, then I think that's actually really good. Now I've recently found this screencast keys, which is actually quite neat. So this building is gonna be a steampunk building. I finished all my other buildings actually. I might open up some stuff that I've been working on for the last couple of years. I've done all sorts. The most recent thing I did was kind of a gothic slash medieval castle for Second Life, which turned out a lot better than I thought it would do. So much so that I've put it up onto the Second Life marketplace for a very reasonable amount of money at Linden's. But yeah, I don't think anyone's going to buy it. But I've given it away to a couple of people, and they were impressed. They were impressed. So it's actually not too bad at all. And something I might do actually is I might, because one of the things I struggled with years and years and years ago in the early days of Blender 2 version 2 point something and Second Life was physics, and it was absolutely my nemesis, physics in Second Life. And if anyone has done, buildings and anything that you need to walk through or into or whatever, it's not easy. Physics is not easy, and of course you can manipulate physics so that you can really reduce the land impact, which is one of the key things that you need to do really with Second Life. And so I might do a little tutorial on how to do it, because I over the years, over what we're getting now, 18 years, over at least 15 years, I have tried to master physics, and I have followed so many tutorials on YouTube and such like, and I hate to say it, but the people that demonstrate or try to do a tutorial on physics just do not make it simple enough, and they make it complicated, and it just, then I just lose interest. After the first kind of hour of watching somebody do, or even 30 minutes of somebody doing, trying to demonstrate physics in Blender for Second Life, it's painful. It really is painful, and it isn't. There was one video that I came across relatively recently, and I have followed their videos before, but it just clicked into place. And I just thought, wow, how easy is that? But even that person's video wasn't straightforward. It took me a lot of trial and error to try and actually figure out, because unfortunately what tends to happen is that people who are very congruent with Blender and Second Life leave out things that are quite key to noobs, as it were, or people struggling with something and need to learn something. And so they end up leaving actually key instructions and processes out of their videos. And it becomes really quite annoying, because you're trying to learn how to do something and it's just such a pain in the whatsits when you're trying to do something and you're trying to follow along with their video, and it just doesn't work. I'll give you an example, right? So one of the things that I struggled with, right, and I always build, I tend to focus on buildings and such like, and static objects in Second Life, things like ships and buildings and furniture and things like that. So one of the things that I thought I was doing wrong was making structures out of a cube, right? So I would design something in a cube and then, do an inset, very, very simple, straightforward, and then obviously merge the faces, and all of a sudden you've got 4 walls. And and then, you put windows in and doors in and all of those other things. If anyone ever watched my Woodsman Cottage, will really understand the struggles that I had trying to come to terms with the physics. And it was very difficult. It was very difficult. I've mastered it now. I've got it down to a fine art. I can chuck out buildings now with physics and everything for Second Life really, really quickly. In fact, anything with physics, fences, doors, arches, whatever it is, it's actually really easy once. And maybe I should do a tutorial. I don't know. Maybe I should do a tutorial, and then people may or may not be able to learn something from it. I like doing tutorials. I like teaching people stuff, and I like simplifying. Just make it simple. That's quite key. So anyway, let me see if I can get the my reference image is this. Okay, where is it? Oh, okay. Right, so my reference image is this. This is my reference image. Ooh. So I love steampunk related buildings and items and articles and whatever, So I managed to grab this image here, and I thought I really want to copy this. I love the fact that it seems to be really in this cityscape, seems to be quite high, and it's a shame I can't see anything underneath where the front door is, but I've kind of replicated it. I mean, I'm not going to copy it verbatim, but I've kind of copied the concept of it in this particular building, and this is just literally the shell. I've done the door. Let me switch that back off again. So sorry if I'm coughing. I've got the remnants of bug infection from Christmas, but yeah, I've done the archway at the door, and I have actually designed the windows already, and the windows are actually really quite nice. Let me see if I can there. Right, so now I can explain actually the physics here, but this is the window. So it's made up of three bits of mesh. What I'm calling the concrete, the bricks around, right, and then there's the inner frame of the window, which includes the bits that hold the glass, and then there's the glass. So it's made up of three different pieces of mesh. Now bring this into this is 4 meters high. So it's pretty big actually on the scale of things, but I've got these sizes and everything really good for Second Life, because buildings need to be oversized in order for your character to go into them and actually interact with the building. You can't make it to scale. So the physics obviously for this window, if you don't have any physics and you just import this as mesh straight into Second Life, it's about 8. It fluctuates. It tends to go to about 6 to 8 land impact, right? I've got that down to 1 by using this physics. Now, you would have thought that the physics, if you made the physics, I mean, this doesn't necessarily need to have physics, but because it's a window, no one's going in and out of the window, but when you play with the physics for anything really in Second Life, especially for an object like this that doesn't require physics, you can bring the land impact right down. And so for a window, really, I mean, I've got a number of windows in this. They're all going to be about the same size. There's quite a lot in this building, and each one of those with a land impact of 8 is going to add up to quite a lot. So cutting that down to 1 land impact, but keeping the same amount of detail is amazing. You would have thought that having this physics as a cube would have brought the land impact down. The lowest I could get it was 4, a land impact of 4. But playing with the physics in this, doing this, this kind of thing here, which is literally just grabbing faces from each side of the model, the mesh, brought the land impact down to 1, and it works perfectly. I mean, it just, don't lose any detail. You don't necessarily need physics at all, as I say, for a window. You do for a door, but anyway, that has been my nemesis for many, many years, until the last couple of years, being able to actually master the physics on stuff. And for doing things like buildings now, I mean, I did the physics for this building in the whole of the physics of this building in probably less than 30 minutes. And I'll go through that later. But what I want to do today, because I've done the windows, which are fine, if we look at that picture again, the reference picture, this reference picture, I So I've done the rail that goes around, and I'm going to have two of those. Again, I brought the land impact for that down to 1 on one section of it. So, and the amount of detail in the railing is actually pretty high. It is pretty high. What I like about this building is all this kind of extra architectural stuff that goes around it, because at the moment my it's just a square box at the moment, so I'm going to add detail. I like these kind of pipe things going up. We've got like a pulley here, for obviously lifting things up and down. I mean, this is what makes everything steampunky. There's all sorts of additions to the building, detail to the building. Like I'm going to do the corners, these cornices type support, things like that. We've got all these kind of little bits and pieces near the roof. Don't know quite what they do, but they look interesting. They're just pipes, I guess. But yeah. So that's what I am going to be playing around with. So so what I want to do, my objective today is I would like to get the I would like to try and get the stairs, internal stairs. Now I did some really nice stairs in my castle, which turned out really, really well. So I'm going to kind of go through now. The other thing, I've cut a hole here. I haven't cut a hole in this one because I was thinking of designing some spiral stairs for this level to go up to there, from the first floor to the second floor to the third floor. So yeah. So I want to grab that and the floor. And probably that. And I'm going to see, I've cut this hole. So what I was thinking of was having some stairs that go down from here to a landing, and then each side of the landing, right, so the stairs will come down and there'll be a small landing here that you'll turn around and come back down towards the front door each side, which will look, I think, really look quite neat. Yeah. See, I've done the physics already for the floor. I've done all the physics. It works fine. It all works fine, and it worked first time. So I can really honestly say now that I know how to do physics for Second Life. Right, so it's make it that big for now. Let's just see. Okay. So I think this is going to come to about there, and I suspect that that will come down. Let's make it come down. So we don't want it too steep, but we do want it fairly steep. So we want to do custom. Let's just want to make them. I know what I've done wrong. I know already what I've done wrong. And I do this so many times, I always screw up the scale and figure out why something doesn't work. Do it every time. Okay. I probably want to do it. Yeah, I reckon that's probably about enough. I don't want it too steep. This is such a brilliant this having this bevel with preset for, you know, custom presets for steps is just absolutely brilliant. I remember back in the day, you know, before I realized that you could do this in Blender, you know, doing all this manually, and it used to drive me up the wall. Really used to just drive me up the wall. Right, okay, so I need to get rid of some of this down the bottom here, which is absolutely fine. There's always something to do. Okay, right, we're good on that. So what I need to nearly always do is... Okay, and normally what I do as well is... What I can do actually is I might actually make that just very slightly... Bring that down. Right, so now what I want to do is yeah, that looks good. I like that. Right, so what I want to do now is get that at the right height. Seems to actually be at the right height already. That's pretty good. Okay. So what I'm thinking now is okay. Oh, that is really neat because it's just coming above these windows. That's really good. I like that. I like that. So I'm going to bring those out. Let's just make them equally as wide. In fact, actually, why not make them go all the way there? Why not? We could have actually... We could actually have a really nice, quite nice landing there. Okay. I could actually make those stairs really quite big. Quite wide. That's what I'm thinking. Let's make them wide. So I'm going to do one and then let's make it that wide. Ooh, cool. I can resize this later. I will do finer details at some point. The only thing is now the stairs are going to go across that window, but that's fine. I've done that before in several other buildings, and to be honest with you, no one really notices. That's interesting. I just noticed this very strange looking... What is that about? Okay, I'm going to have to look into that. Don't really know what's going on there. They're going to be too steep, I think. Let's bring it there. We want to make it... I want to make it look, you know, impressive. Right, scale. Where is the origin to this thing? Interesting. Okay, let's do all transformations then. Set origin to geometry. Why? Interesting. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, because I'm highlighted. Ah, duh. I know why. These are just some of the things. Of course I did this. Made it still part of that. So set origin to geometry. Thank you very much. Okay, right, let's go back in here. Okay. Looks like it's going to be pretty steep. Let's select steps. Probably 20, maybe. Compare that to this. Yeah, it looks about the same. Looks looking good. Okay. Yeah, that looks about right. Good. Okay. Don't want this too chunky because it's nice actually to use the space under the stairs. So yeah, that looks about right. Let's just bring that back a little bit. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. So we're at scale there. Let's bring that over here. Put that up against the wall. Okay, we're good. We are good. Okay, I like that. I like that. That's actually not too bad. This lower part can be kind of a reception. I mean, it's actually in Second Life. It's actually a rather large space. So I want to actually grab those and I want to move them to a new collection. Stairs. I like it. Okay, while I'm here, I'm going to do the physics for this, because obviously things like stairs, anything with lots of detail in it, tends to have a high land impact. And so stairs in Second Life tend to have quite, as I've done many tests before with stairs. So what we're going to do is we're going to create another mesh. Very, very easy to do this. What I tend to do is I've set up a material that's physics, it's blue, so that I can see it. You always need to make the physics mesh smaller than the mesh that you've just designed. So how can we do this? Yeah, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Right, so I'm going to do 3. So we basically do this, right? And we get it so that it basically, it kind of just sits like so under the mesh, right? Like that. So it kind of sits inside the mesh, just literally inside the mesh. Like that. That's fine. Okay. Same for this side. So that's literally it. So as long as we're just literally inside the mesh edges, and what I mean by that is, can you see how basically this blue physics, mesh is literally on the inside? That took me a long time to understand that that's what you had to do. I'm going to grab this. Okay. Right, so I'm now going to do the landing. So again, we need to, I will resize it, see how it's inside. Just inside. Just inside. just inside. So that's that one. I'm going to basically just copy this again and make it smaller. And move it over this way. So we're just doing pretty much the same thing. So we're just going down. We're going to have it inside the mesh. The boundary. And if I remember rightly, it was the terminology that people kept using that really confused me. Now I know that this will just work perfect, right? It will just work perfect. So we've got these cubes now, which I can move to the stairs collection. And this is my physics basically. So if I call this stairs 001, stairs 002. I like to give things names because like I don't always do it. I'll sometimes forget, but it's nice to keep things kind of, you know, labeled, because then you don't get confused with everything being called cube. Right. So I don't care about this because these are so we go all transform and then we need to set origin to geometry. That's fine. So I now know that will work, and I'm going to keep those separate. I'm not going to join them. And then we've got all of this, so I was just making sure that all of these scale is okay. That's fine. So now I've got the stairs. Okay, I've got these stairs. And I know that will work fine. Switch that off for now. So we're now on this first build, you know, the first part of the building, and we're now onto the first floor, right? What I haven't done is I haven't created a hole in this. Now, because this part of the building is kind of not next to a wall, I would normally cut, like I did the first floor, I would normally cut a hole in there and then create steps that would go up. But here I think it might just be really nice to have like a spiral staircase. Now I could do a spiral staircase that goes all the way through right up. Ooh, that might be nice. Oh, that might be nice. Okay, so I could do a spiral staircase that goes from the first floor, well, second floor, I guess, from here, and it could go right up through the middle up to this floor. That might be okay. And I think that would look actually quite impressive as well if you had a spiral staircase that went all the way up to the top. That sounds intriguing to me. How big of a staircase? Right, okay, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Let's just play around with a bit of a mesh. I'm going to create a cylinder. That I'm going to use to create the hole through the floors, basically. And I'm just thinking how wide this needs to be. I think that's got too much geometry on it, to be honest. Right, I tell you what I'm going to do. Let's do that again. Let's focus on the cylinder, but I want to bring this right down because this is way too much geometry. Okay. Staircase is going to be pretty big. It needs to be, for Second Life, it needs to be at least 2 meters. Height wise, I guess we can change this. Yeah, that's probably going to look okay. Yeah. Right, so if we expand this up to here. So that's going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4 floors, basically. And it's going to go all the way up there. But I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to color this. It's going to be used for a Boolean. I just want to color it red so that I can see it. I reckon that'll look good. That'll look really good. I like that. Right. Ooh. Blender not responding. Interesting. Control A, all transforms. There we go. Right, because otherwise, if I don't do that now, it will create weird stuff when you try to do a Boolean. So this is interesting. Why is there a difference in the scale? So it's 4 meters in diameter, which should be more than enough for a spiral staircase. Let's create a spiral staircase. I can't seem to get that to go on the ground, but anyway. Now I've done spiral staircases before. And I can't remember how I did it. I know it wasn't particularly easy to do. Let's create a... How did I do it before? You can have a spiral. Okay, so there's a couple of ways of doing it. You can either design a step that's got the column in the middle already in it, so that basically you're just replicating that going up in a spiral, or you can have a column which is just a mesh cylinder, and then steps which kind of go around it. Let's just create this, and we want to make the radius one meter. Actually, probably not 1 meter. Let's make the radius 0.5. So let's just assume that this is going to be the column. Right, so this actually needs to be hang on. Ooh. Separate. Go. So this needs to be 3 meters. I'll test this out, obviously, before I commit to anything first. So if we say that that's the first step, this is where things get a little bit hit and miss. spiral staircases are not something that I've done a huge amount of. Right, so God, I think that's too big. That's way too big, isn't it? I think that's way too big. I don't know quite where I'm going with that. Yeah, way too big. If that's the size of the hole, okay, so this is really okay. Why have I made that step so big? How big is that step? Oh my goodness, what am I doing? Right, that needs to be 3, half the size. Okay. Got my scales a bit out of sync there. So really, I think this column is too big. Let's make that 0.5 and that 0.5. Right. That's better. More like it. It's all about lining this up to get the once this is started, I can remember when I used to do this before, and once you get it started, it's actually okay. But it's starting it is the key. We could have chunky steps like that. Does actually only need to be 0.4. We can probably get away with that being 1.5. Ooh. $1.5. Yep. And probably ideally we need to drop that right down. Let's just drop that right down. Yeah, okay. Yeah, a little bit out. Let's just stick out a little tiny bit. Right, okay. So I think our step can be that big. And then probably the step can go like that. How are we looking? Yeah, that's pretty neat. Okay, we can probably go in a little bit more. Might as well tidy it up while we've got the opportunity. Right, so this is the fun bit. We want to really keep the scale. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. We want an array modifier. We want an array and we want to go upwards. Let me do this. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Let's just move that out there for 1 minute. See how many steps this is going to be. Quite a lot, I think. It's going to be about 60 something. I need to measure how big this is, but I can always remove geometry. I can't necessarily always create it, so I'm going to go right there. This, let's say 70. Right. Can I remember how I got this to turn into a spiral? Screw? Oh, no. No. Can I remember? Mask, mirror, multi-resolution. Deform, curve, displace. I can remember creating an empty. I can remember creating an empty that controlled the spiral. Right, so I can remember there being an empty at the cursor, plane axis, empty, went there. Can I remember? What is object offset? No, constrain offset. Come on. Come on, can I remember how to do this? I can't remember. I think it was another modifier. There was another modifier. curve, deform, curve, curve object. Curve object. That's not a curve object, is it? No, that's not a curve object. Oh, come on. I can imagine someone looking at this going, oh yeah, well, it's just this. I think I do remember having an offset object, which was this. Ooh, there we go. No, I don't think it is that. I can't remember. I can't remember. Let's see if I can try and find something that will remind me. Let me see. Pretty sure I just used to search spiral stairs. Blender spiral stairs. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that would be about right. 5 years. 5 years ago would have been about right when I probably started doing spiral staircases. Let's see if I can try and do it. Okay, so he's created, right? Okay, completely different method. Oh no, okay. Right, so no, I vaguely remember actually this video. Let me just watch this. Sorry if you're watching this and you're having to sit plain. Okay, so this is the empty. I do remember that bit. Now what do we do? Okay, so he's moving the empty up to there. Okay, right. Yeah, adding a modifier, an array, which is, yeah, okay. So relative object. Yeah, I see. I remember this. I remember this. Okay, so yeah. Oh, is that it? Is that all it is? Right, okay. Really? So I do remember saying offset object was this. Right. Yeah, there we go. Right. Yeah, I knew it was pretty simple. I knew it was pretty simple. I was overcomplicating it because I couldn't remember. And I do vaguely remember um, having to rotate the empty. Now, if I remember rightly, you have to bring the empty up to the bottom. Yeah, that's correct. Now, why is this? I think I have to set the origin to the 3D cursor. There we go. That's the reason why. Yep, there we go. That's it. There, I remember now. Okay. Yep. So this is always the way when you can't remember. So you can then twist the stairs whichever way you want it to go. So right. There we go. Very nice. Of course, this is only how big is this piece? Okay. Right. So that's actually, I think that'll look quite impressive. Okay, I'm going to grab that, and then let's. Ooh. Okay. Oh, of course. That and the scale of that is fine. Okay. I'm just going to grab this. Sorry, I don't need the video anymore. Okay. I knew it was pretty simple. I couldn't believe actually the first time I ever did this how simple it was to create spiral stairs. It was actually really quite simple. I want to literally just hide that for now. I want to just see that. I want to see that this will work. So we're going from there. This needs to be taller. Yeah, it needs to be taller. So if I look at, that's the whole size. Yeah, that's fine. That is perfect. That is really good. But it's not tall enough. Right, so this needs to be a lot taller. Yeah, but does it though? This is 34.4 meters. How tall is this? 28. So it does need to go up a bit to reach from wow, okay, that's interesting, isn't it? So we want that to be about 34. So I need more steps. I can always remove mesh or geometry or whatever you want to call it. But so if I create a few more steps that go all the way to the top, I can always delete. Let's make it 90. I can always delete mesh, but it's difficult to create mesh once it's just messy if you do it the other way around. Nice. So while I am here, what I want to do is to create, because obviously in Second Life it is very difficult to go up spiral stairs without falling off. It's just too difficult. So what I want to do now is to create some physics that will have an edge on it. And what I mean by that is this. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to basically just grab this face and this face. No, I don't want. Sorry, I've got X-ray switched on. I love the X-ray. Again, I don't remember that being there in early versions. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't actually remember. I remember there being wireframe, but I don't remember the X-ray as being an option. Not that I remember. Not that I remember. So what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate these here. Right, so oh, okay. I need to delete that. That's not what I wanted. Why is it picking up? Okay. I want that face, and I want that face. That's only two faces I've selected. So duplicate that. Okay. Let's bring that right down to 1. Okay. I want to separate that. Okay, so it's its own thing. That's better. But we still have the array attached to it. Let's take that and that. And we're going to... Oh, no, I don't want that. This is just faces, right? Why is it saying 10 faces? It isn't. It's only 2. What is going on? Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, wait. I know what I've done. I've gone back too far. I made that 90. Right. Okay. Sorry. Right. One object, 2 faces. Okay. Interesting. What I want to do is select those and then that's it. So I want to do something along those lines. Okay. Let's mesh that and throw the normals onto the outside. Why is this? Okay. Why are these normals going through the middle? Don't know. They're fine there, but they're going through the middle there. It doesn't make sense. Interesting. That's what I thought. This I don't understand. Okay, whatever. Normals, let's flip the normals around. Thank you very much. I don't know quite why it was doing that. Interesting. Okay. Oh, this does irritate me when this happens in Blender, and I can never figure out how you get the when the view goes like that. I can't remember how you get the view. How do you reset the view again? God, I haven't done this. Toggle number pad. Okay. I know it's okay. Now I like, yeah. How do you reset the view? Angle view to active. Okay, I can't remember how you do that. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's kind of, no, it's not. It's this, see, like this. There's something not right. There is something not right with this. Anyway, let's I need to GZ. Let's bring that down underneath the mesh. I want to scale it very slightly smaller than the existing mesh steps. Okay. In fact, it needs to be really smaller. Now I can just go, ooh. I suspect that this needs another it probably needs another empty. It needs its own empty. If I call this empty 1, ooh. Empty 1, right? Shift. Okay. Okay. If I go back to the modifier. Yeah. Okay. Of course it won't do that. There we go. We get there in the end. We get there in the end. Okay, of course it wasn't on the cursor, was it? So everything else was on the cursor, but that wasn't. So we add a modifier, we go generate array. We want that to be 0. We want this to be 1. There we go. But we don't want that to be 1. We actually want that to be down whatever the height of a step is. But we need to figure that out in a minute. Then we do offset object. This one. Okay. Now we need to get the step height correct. Oh, come on. Really? I can't remember what the key is to reset the view. It's really irritating when it gets distorted like that. Let me add this because I can't see it. There we go. Okay. I need to get the height of this. Just really, so it's probably 0.28. Maybe enough. We might have to play with that. We want 90 of them. And we need to select the empty. I hope that I'm hoping that people will be able to understand what it is I'm doing. I'm creating the physics for Spiral Staircase, right? So that when people go up the stairs in Second Life, they're not going to fall off, because that's quite a common thing. That people will fall off the edge of, spiral staircases. Okay, that looks good. I mean, yeah. The higher we go up, the worse it is. Okay. So this step is definitely 1. This step is definitely 1. Let's make that 0.6. No. 7. 0.75. Yeah, that looks about right. I don't know whether anyone can see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to line up the steps, the physics for the step to just below. Yeah, that's about right. Just below the surface of the step. Okay, that's fine. That is fine. That looks good. Right, so I think the physics for these spirals staircase is fine. Right. Save. Okay, bear with me while I just pick up messages 1 minute, because I've got people messaging me. Nothing important really. Okay, bear with me. Bear with me. Okay. Right. Okay. So I've saved this. This is fine. As always, I like to do a backup because just in case I screw something up, it's fine. I like it. Let's see whether it fits. If it doesn't fit, then all of this has been a waste of time. But I don't think it is. I think it will be fine. Where's my cylinder? So I'm confident that that is going to go through this floor, the floor that's in here, the floor that's here, and the floor that's here. And that those stairs are going to go all the way up. Right, so I am going to apply... why? Oh, right. Okay. I don't know quite why that was there. Is there something else there? No, there isn't. But what is that? Why is there another... That's interesting. I seem to have multiple copies of stairs for some reason. Don't know why. Okay, I'm going to apply this. Right, so that is now applied. I'm going to grab that and that. And just for now, I'm going to duplicate it. Bring that here. I just want to see if it fits. I'm going to cut this hole. I'm going to cut this. So I'm going to add a Boolean. Generate Boolean. And we're going to pick this cylinder. Correct. I'm now going to select. So that's this floor. I'm now going to select this floor. Modifier, generate Boolean, pick this cylinder. Correct. Pick that floor. Boolean, pick that object, and we've got a hole in there as well. And last floor, Boolean, this. There we go. Right. I'm not going to commit to that at the moment until I'm happy that that works. So we now have a hole through 4 floors. Okay. I now want to see whether this... Let's just join that 1 minute because I'm only going to just play with this. GY. Is this going to work? Looks like it's worked. It's not, it doesn't go all the way to the top, but then again, I haven't moved it to the top. So we need to go from this floor up all the way through. Oh, it didn't go all the way up to the top. My goodness, that's okay. So that's some serious stairs. That is some serious stairs. I need to make more. Wow. Looks good though. It does look good, and it will actually, yeah. Wow. That will be fine. That looks fine to me. Need to make the stairs bigger, taller. Definitely. Definitely need to make it taller, so I reckon we're gonna go up. Let's go up 110. I can always, as I said before, I can always delete geometry. Very difficult to try and create it. Yeah. What is that? Is that not an empty that I can't seem to click on? Probably not. Okay. Is there more than one? I thought there was. Mm-hmm. I thought there was more than one. It's interesting, isn't it? Just had a gut feeling. Right, bear with me. Okay. Let's just make this big. It doesn't matter if it's too big. It really doesn't matter. We're going to make that 110. And we're going to make the steps mesh. There is another, and there's something else there. What is that? I've got another spurious kind of step that's in there somewhere. I don't think we need that. Right. There's still definitely another bit of mesh that's kind of stuck in there somehow. Okay. Okay. Anyway. Right, so now we've gone right up here. Now, of course, we're getting our physics is a bit... Okay. Seven. We need to get our physics lined up properly. It's not going all the way. 8. Nine's too much. 8, 5. 8, 1. 8, 1's probably about right. Okay. Right, I think we're now good. I think we're now good. Right. like I did before, back up what I've done. Right, so we're going to back up that. Let's just hide that 1 minute. I kind of want to just see whether this, let's just Shift D, Y, right? Let's isolate those things out. Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, wow, I like it. I like it. Wow, I like it. So if we go, that we're going to need to try and figure out whether I can, let's bring back this. Where is the floor? Okay. Very nice. Now, my only problem is, and I just realized this, that you come up the stairs and go walk straight into that, which is not good. Okay. Ooh, no. Right. I didn't think that through, did I? Okay, so I am going to apply that and then grab that, and then we're going to set the origins to the geometry. We're going to rotate on the z-axis. Ooh, that's interesting. And we need this floor where I kind of forgot that people were coming up the stairs. But I think if I rotate on the z-axis... Ooh. No, why is the orientation around the wrong way on that? Interesting, interesting. Oh, that's why. Let's just say local. Nope. Is there still something? Ah, that's why. Origins, I knew there was something I was doing wrong. Okay, so we now need to let's go back down to this floor, this floor, this floor. I want to rotate Z. Okay. I need that to rotate. Shift A. No. I'm thinking that if I put the stair there, so the first step isn't exactly opposite when you come up. So GZ, let's just raise that up very slightly. Okay, right, so when you come up the stairs, although this is actually possibly a little bit too close, I like it though. I like it. I think it is better that it goes up through the center of the floors rather than to one side. Anyway, I like it. I like it. I like it. Mission accomplished. Okay. So I haven't actually do I move do I though? Do I move this away from that stair? I don't know. Now's the time to do it because I haven't committed the booleans yet. I don't know whether that's just going to be a bit weird. You're going to come up the steps, right? So if I add the stairs back. See, you're going to come up the stairs and then you're going to hit this. But, you know, in Second Life, I know this doesn't, the scale of this makes it look like you're just going to literally walk up the stairs and bump straight into there. But in Second Life, this is probably quite a way away. I mean, this is 2 meters wide, so it's at least 4 meters. You're not going to really just bump straight into this walking up those stairs. So personally, I think it will be fine, but I could move it very slightly. But then it will look weird. I just think it will look weird, this top part of the building. And this one, if I start moving the spiral staircase, I think it will just look weird. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. Right, so we need to hide that lot. Okay, that's good. And I think hide that lot. Okay. Right. Right, okay, we're good. We're good, we're good. Right, so that's all the stairs. I'm going to save this, and I'm going to create a different version of this save. I'm going to call it A, just so that I've got a backup. Score A. Right. And just as a backup, I'm going to open up the original. Right. Okay. Cheap stream viewers, eh? Okay. It's good to notice that Twitch doesn't change. It still gets spam in Twitch. Right. We've still got some there we go. Right, so we've still got this empty. And we've still got this empty. Okay. I'm going to commit this Boolean. I think it's pronounced Boolean, so I'm going to apply that Boolean. Right. I'm going to apply this Boolean and this Boolean and this Boolean. Okay, we're good. Now I need to remove some. We don't need that going all the way to the very, very top. So actually, why don't I just make that like that? And then I can do this. Let's switch X-ray on. Oh, no, X-ray isn't on, is it? Oh, it is. Okay. Cool. Right, and now I'm going to just lower. Oh. Delete those faces, and we're going to grab those faces, and we're just going to tuck them down to the same as that. Okay, there we go. Doesn't matter that the top step is just slightly thinner than the rest. That looks nice. I like it. I like it. Okay, we're going to save this. So I'm going to call this so that I know that center column I think that's how you spell center column. And then this is going to be center stairs, right? So that I know that that's what I've got. And I can add the physics, right? Get rid of the stairs. Ooh. Move to stairs. Okay. That's pretty neat, pretty neat, pretty neat. All right. I like that. I like the stairs. I think this is going to look really good. I dread to think what the land impact on that is going to be honest, because that's a lot of mesh. But hey, we'll cross that bridge when we get to there. So that's 930 faces. It's going to be a little bit heavy on the old land impact, but I should be able to. It's a feature of the building, and I think it's probably worth the land impact, to be honest. Okay, I need to hide the stairs. Okay. We go back to the reference image again. I like the stairs. The stairs from the ground floor to the first floor are good. From the first floor all the way up to the top floor, which is a spiral staircase, is also good. I like it. I need to now add other features. So looking at the reference image, I like this kind of pipe work, whatever that is. But what I was going to do now was these kind of corner columns to add a level of detail, and also this sort of ridge that goes round, which is obviously the first floor. Unfortunately, I don't know what the inside of this building really looks like. So, and something else that I'd thought of as well, I need to cut doorways into here somehow. Because people are going to walk here. I've got a railing that goes all the way around here and all the way around this upper outside floor. So this somewhere here there needs to be a door. Possibly at the top as well. Because obviously people are going to go up the stairs and then, you know, walk around the balustrade. This section here. So you've got like other features like I don't know what these things are. I mean, I think, you know, that this is obviously some sort of little pulley crane thing, you know, for lifting things up. I don't know what this pipe work does. I have no idea. I mean, it does actually definitely look like pipe work. And then you've got these kind of balls. There's all sorts of funny little things, you know. Obviously, this is artistic license that whoever designed this, you know, put all these little things on there. But what I was going to do now was actually add the corner supports, you know, this kind of corner architecture on the outside, which I think will just add add a bit of character. And I think also this kind of level, which I think is the floor, it seems to sort of come through the wall. I don't want to overdo the detailing, to be honest, because I can hide or I can add detailing to the textures that I'm going to be placing on the building. Oh, I need to stand up a minute. Let me just stand up 1 minute. Ah. Okay, I'll be back 1 minute. Back in a moment. Okay, short break over. Okay, so what I was going to do was create some detail on to break up the the corners of the building. No, they're not massive. They're like, it's quite interesting actually. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I am going to shift the cursor to the selected. Let's create it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. So I'm going to create a cube there. Z1. Bring it up probably to about there. Okay, I'm going to scale that down. I want to try and get it scaled so that it kind of doesn't go over the corner. So I want it about there probably. Yeah. I don't want this to be too big. Because we scaled it. Detail, detail, detail. How can we do this? Well, I don't think it needs to be I don't think it needs to be particularly... Right, let's just see where that goes. That's like up to Z. That's to about there. Okay, that's fine. No. Okay. I reckon go up to the top of that window, and then I reckon something like this. We're going to go in. And we're going to go up. I think something like this, really. Let's go up. Go in a bit more. And then go to the top. Right? The roof is going to come down on there anyway. So let's take it up to about there. Yeah, that adds a bit of detail. Only needs to be simple. It only needs to be very simple. Now this is going to... Is this appearing on the inside of this wall? I think it is. Yeah, it is appearing on the inside of the wall. Only just, though. Barely. Okay, might not bother with that. So, cursor to world origin. That is okay. Set origin to geometry. Well, actually, no. Set origin to 3D cursor. We're going to put an array on that. Sorry, a mirror modifier. Mirror. Cool. Quick and easy. Brilliant. Let's just add some features and detail to the building, really. Give it a little bit more. I think something like that actually here would work equally well. What else do they have there? See, they've got very slightly... I want to keep the geometry relatively simple, but do you know what I think would look really nice? Okay, I am going to DZ. Alright, okay, so if I call this floor 1 corners, just call it corners, and then this floor 2 corners. All right. I'm going to move that to the main building area. Hmm. Somewhere along those lines. Ooh, that's not far off, is it? Right. Hmm. I wonder how you can constrain diagonally. I know you can constrain, uh, what along the x and y axis. But what if you wanted to go? Interesting, interesting. I've never done that before. Um, G, G, exclude Z. If I go 45 degrees. Oh, no, that's distance, isn't it? Okay. Hmm. Okay. If we go along the normals, extrude, scale, shift Z. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. Right. Okay. Interesting. Sorry. Had to take a call. Had to take a call. Okay. I quite like that. I quite like that. What I'm going to do here now is take that and that. And oh no, I know what I could do. Ooh, I know what I could do. Yeah, I like that. I quite like that. That adds nice little bit of character. Again, it's relative for Second Life is relatively you know, low land impact, which you know, that's nice. I like it. I think it just adds a nice little bit of character. What else can I add? I could do this. I quite like the arch effect, although I've got a. Actually, what I'm going to put here, I've got a steampunk style clock, which I'm going to add as a feature to this in actually Second Life. So I'm not going to. I don't really want to add. You know, I mean, I know it's really nice, but it adds, I think, too much detail there. I also think that this, yeah, it's actually to the edge. I can't really move it anymore. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, I think that adds quite a nice little bit of detail. Do I add this ridge going around here, which I think is at the same level as the floor? So it's about there. It will look like that. I could add that going around. Hmm. My only issue with that is it's going to screw up my physics. Um, Whereas I could actually add that feature to as a texture onto, you know, the building itself, which would lower the land impact. Everything I do from this point onwards, the land impact of the building at the moment, with just the building without the stairs, is approximately 40 land impact, which is very low considering this building is quite high. I don't know quite how high this is. How high is this? 62 meters high. I mean, you know, in real terms, that's actually pretty high. Um, okay, right. I've just got to do something very quickly. Bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's done. Right, okay. Sorry about that. I don't really want to do too much else because at this stage I want to see. I mean, I'm thinking this kind of little detail underneath that might be nice. Actually, that might be nice. So, the kind of, okay, I might do that. I might do this. Let's do that. Right. Um, let's select this. Okay, that's good. Right, so we're going to come out of there. We're going to add. Oh, no, we don't want to select that. We want to go add mesh. I think it's going to be like a cube. And we're going to go GY1 -1. Right, there we go. Again, I want to make this pretty simple. I don't want too much detail on there, but from a distance, and no one's going to see it. I mean, I tend to look at buildings and I tend to zoom around Second Life looking at the architecture of buildings because that's just me. But I don't really think an awful lot of people look at buildings as closely as I do. Um, the quickest way I can think of putting something in there would be like this. No. Okay. Let's just. Right. So, what I'm thinking of is I can. Let's just add a bevel to that. That might look quite. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, that's a nice level of detail. Yeah. Okay, I think that's justified. Simple, straightforward, and just adds a little bit of details to it. Let's add another modifier, mirror modifier. Interesting. Why won't it create the mirror on the x-axis? Interesting. Well, if we do it on the Y, quite know why it won't do it on the X. Interesting. Don't know. Don't really know why it's not doing that. Even though I'm saying put it on the x-axis, it's not mirroring it. Interesting. Doesn't want to do it. Right, okay, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Shift D. Rotate Z 90. Ooh, no way. Okay. Is there a reason why you're doing that? Easier to do it that way, really. So if we call okay, that's fine. So if we just call this second floor 2 detail. I want to move that to the main building. Okay. I'm quite happy with that now, really. I like it. Okay. I think really now what I might do is just go through some things, like I can show the castle just to change things up a little bit. So yeah, I think I've done enough on this. Actually, I kind of get to a point where I just think I could keep going, but then it just becomes too much, and it loses its kind of my enthusiasm for something. So I'm gonna save this. Let's open up something else that I've done pretty recently. Yeah, I mean I've got a huge amount of stuff. My steamship. I don't know whether anyone's watching that ever remembers the steamship that I did. That was actually quite interesting. You know, this. In fact, what's interesting about this is that I did this actually quite a while ago now. I did this a few years ago, and I've learned a lot even in those couple of years. And I opened this up the other day and thought, oh, why don't I just try, you know, tweaking this a little bit? But now I'm thinking I might just redo it. I do like this. Um, it's a nice. I've taken all the textures and everything off, but yeah, I think I would do this really differently now. And I would now also, and this was the real frustration I had with this mesh, this model with physics. I really had problems with this, and it was really because I just didn't really I didn't really kind of understand what was happening. So yeah, I think I wouldn't actually I think I would redo this, although I do like the hull. Um, I do like the hull of this, but I think everything else on here I would redo. Um, so yeah, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting. So that's another model that I would probably revisit. Where is my? This is something else that I think I will revisit as well. And again, doing the physics of this was just really driving me up the wall. So this is kind of a steampunk dirigible kind of balloon ship that um, again I've got reference artwork for this, and now that I know the physics more, the way that what I was going to do with this was that I mean this is massive, right? This is as a piece of mesh for Second Life. It's just astronomical. It's 50 meters long, so it's pretty big. And this bit here is 32 meters long. So what I was going to do was make the blimp bit something that you could go up into, and there would be maybe one or two floors in here, and you know that was kind of the idea of this. But yeah, I mean that was pretty good. Excuse me. I think because I'm talking so much, um, dry throat and all that is. Where is my castle? I've just been doing so much lately. Um, mm, medieval Gothic. Okay, so that was the gate that I designed for the castle, which again, you know, it's just pretty straightforward, really. You know, not bringing these things down to a point and all that made it look very realistic, and that, you know, is a would if I was to animate and make this work in Second Life as a gate that you could open and close the entrance to the castle, you know, would be quite good. I don't know quite what I've done with the castle, so let me see if I can find. Let me see. Vampire Castle. Okay, maybe that's it there. Hmm. Okay. What have I done with this? What have I done with it? This is all my physics models. Base floor. Oh, there we go. Right, okay, so base floor, main bridge. Okay, here we go. Nope, that's not that. Interesting. I don't know quite what I've done with all this. Interesting. This is all my physics. Okay. Okay, so I'm kind of, yeah, this is what happens when you don't go into something for a while. Hmm. Interesting. I don't really quite understand what's going on, but anyway, I mean, you get the general idea. Um, I mean, I've got the physics model as well as that. So basically, the whole idea was this was the stairs I was talking about earlier. So again, I wanted to try and keep this really low land impact as possible. The whole building, including the windows, the stair, I mean, everything. And of course, there's a cellar there as well, which is quite neat. So you go down underneath, you know, this part here. And then you can go into various different stairs going all the way up. I mean, there's a stairs there. You can see I've mixed in my my physics models, and then it went right to the very top. and then there were turrets. I've got turrets at the top. Yeah. Okay, so all I've got is just my physics model, which is interesting. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So I've got kind of this, right, and it's literally kept as almost a role play castle. Okay. A lot of characters in Second Life like to be dragons and various other things, and so I was like asked, do I have a castle of some sort that people could meet and whatever. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So here's something. There. Right. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. I think it's because I was switching all of this off and on. Here we go. There. Right. Okay. This is looking a bit better. Right. So this is the castle. Okay, looks a little bit better. Very simple, very simple. So I've had some good feedback on this already. I mean, for something that's pretty basic and relatively low poly, low land impact, with some nice textures, and it's got a kind of a gothic-y feel to it. And then if I go inside, the texturing's not absolutely brilliant, but this is kind of the overall look on the inside. And then down in the cellar, again, it's relatively low poly stuff. It's pretty basic, but it serves a purpose for doing things like role play and whatnot. So you can kind of, you've got like a cellar, and it looks pretty good on each floor. And each floor you've obviously got, stairs that go up. This was one of the things that I really created very fast after realizing how to do physics, right? And this was really the landmark for me. I know it seems simple, but believe me, I think anyone who's tried to make architecture and buildings that you want to walk on and such, like, to try and get the physics right, unless of course you absolutely click with all of that and can do it really easily, it was my nemesis. If anything else I could do in Blender, I could design pretty much anything I really wanted to in Blender. But when it came to physics, I really had a block, a mental block on how the physics worked. And I used to attend classes in Second Life to do with physics and everything. And we're talking a long time ago, so when Blender was version 2 point something, right? I have been trying to master the physics for buildings, and it just used to drive me up the wall because I could never get it right. And it, in a way, I think wasn't really taught very well. And I looked at videos on YouTube as well, to try and determine how to do. So if I look at, basically, this is a box. This is a cube which I have made basically hollow, right? So the floors are separate. I always find the floors are separate, the walls are separate, and anything that you cut out, like a doorway, etc., is better off being separate. But why this is okay? This is the physics, right? The physics of this floor. So you kind of go around. Let me just take, if I can take that and then do this, right? So you can see what the physics are, right? So basically you take mesh right? You have to make the mesh a separate piece of mesh, and then wherever you are walking, right? So if you're walking, you can just use a plane, which I do for stairs, right? So you know it looks like you're going upstairs, but of course the physics are this is just a plane underneath steps. The same for the top here, the kind of mezzanine floor, and then obviously going up the steps here is exactly the same. And then the physics of this doorway is that you need to have, you basically need to build mesh in blocks separated. This was such a key thing for me to, that again, it was only one person that I ever came across that ever said, whatever you do, build up your mesh physics, but separate it. Because if you make this a block, right, and you cut a hole in this, which is how I was doing it before, and it was driving me up the wall, because obviously Second Life would then just fill the hole in. It wasn't seeing it as mesh that had a hole in it, right? Because if you just upload your original mesh with a doorway in it, it fills it in every single time. It fills it in, unless you want a massively high land impact physics. Doesn't work, right? So if you want as low impact as possible with physics for your buildings, you've got to do it this way. There's no other way of doing it. and it took me a long time to understand that that's what you had to do. So all you have to do is really remember to build up your physics model around your mesh and resize it ever so slightly to the outside. To the inside of the mesh. An exception to the rule was this, because this doorway is part of the mesh. And if I didn't bring the mesh to the edge of the outside of the doorway, what would happen is you would if you walked to the wall, you would walk up to the wall until the inside, which just, it's a bit odd. But anyway, generally speaking, what you do is you put the mesh. Can you see how it's like flashing? You put the mesh, resize it very, very slightly as a separate bit of mesh. So for this 4 walls, which is literally only one piece of mesh, right? Really, these 4 walls, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cubes. 7 cubes in order to give the illusion of the physics that you can walk through the door with it making look like you're walking through the door. And it brings the land impact down a massive amount. Absolutely huge. So yeah. So yeah, that's physics. I mean, if realistically, if somebody wants me to, I might even do a video. I might do a small training video on how to do physics in Second Life. Because everything I've seen people bringing, mesh building objects into Second Life and making it phantom, and then adding prim to, attaching it to the building and making it transparent and doing all sorts of really weird stuff like that. I mean, it was just, I've seen all sorts of stuff. I've seen all sorts of really weird ways of doing things, and it doesn't work properly, really. The easiest way of doing it is doing it this way. Create your mesh and then create these mesh cube blocks to go round the bits that you want the collision to be, or the physics of your object. It's as simple as that. That's all you need to do. But, you know, as I say, if somebody wants me to demo that, I can do a demo. But yeah. This worked really well. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. And I made out of this same model, I made one that only had, you know, 3 floors to it rather than, or rather 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4 floors, 4 levels to it rather than 5, you know, which also brought the land impact down a little bit more. And it's a big object. I mean, it is very high. It's 37, nearly 38 meters high, compared to the 60 something meters of my other building. This is relatively big. So I made a slightly smaller one to, you know, for people to do role playing with. And yeah, it's met with favourable response. What else have I made that's interesting? I've just got so much stuff. I have so much stuff. I was playing around with with this. I don't know if anyone knows. Ooh. Is there anything in here? Wow. Wow. Okay. Interesting. Where is that? Oh, okay. So, I don't know whether anyone. Oh, okay. The texture's gone. That's a shame. I was working on a 3D model of a streamer that I follow. It was quite an interesting thing to do. And I didn't model this. This is not me. I am no good at doing. I'm no good at sculpting at all in any shape or form. What else? I can't remember what I've shown, to be honest with you. I made a very simple chandelier for my castle. Just very simple and straightforward. I could have added, you know, a flame effect to this, but again, I wanted it relatively low poly, low land impact, and it looks really good inside Second Life in the castle. So I kind of tended to put it, you know, right in the entrance, kind of in the reception area, and then on top of that, I made that, you know, security gate. Just for effect, basically. Oh, I made a whole load of, yeah, I know what else I did. I've just done so much stuff. Something else that I did, which was a fairly good exercise to do, and I've used them, so it kind of makes sense that you make your own assets. So I think it's this one, right? So this I did, and I created. This is the window, if you remember the window, from the building that I was working on earlier, the steampunk kind of multi-thing building. But of course, you know, make your own windows. Now, these are not low poly, right? So these are not low poly windows by any stretch of the imagination. But it works. it works. And yeah, so making your own assets is just saves so much time. This was a challenge, making this kind of window, arched window. I used this on my kind of Gothic church building that I made, which I did a video about before. But again, low poly church windows with a frame, a stone surround, and glass. It's basically 3 elements, which works perfectly okay in Second Life. Again, bringing all of this detail down to one land impact makes a huge difference. I quite like making stuff like this. It's really good, and of course when you want to go and make a building, you're not redesigning windows all over again, because I design quite a lot of buildings. I can't remember whether I actually finished. Sorry, I'm just sorting out my water. I can't remember whether I actually showed the arched windows. Just save that 1 minute. I've got all sorts of buildings that I've done so many buildings. Oh, Gothic building could be under Gothic buildings. Wow, I can't remember whether this. Okay, so this is some kind of Gothic church building. Gothic church. Let's just take a look at this. This is coming off of my server, so I think it takes a couple of seconds for it to just load. Shouldn't take that long. But anyway, yeah, so this was a Gothic building that I did. Kind of, well, not Gothic, is it? It's kind of a medieval type, but you can see the windows that I designed, but again, in Second Life it looks fine. Again, it's very low poly. I remember having a hell of a time trying to get the roof the roof done. Was just driving me up the wall. But yeah, it's just medieval style kind of church, which works quite well. It works very well. What else have I done? So Gothic building. Okay. I like how I've renamed something random Gothic stuff. It's just, yeah. What else have I done? I think most of this I've actually demonstrated before. I really must get a portfolio together at some point. It would be nice to try and what else have I done? I did a skull, sofa, spinning hoops, airships, steampunk clock. Okay. Storm lamp. Okay, I don't know. Victorian cabinet, funeral carriage. That was a really nice. There are so many builds that I've done for Second Life where I would love to go back now that I understand how the physics works in Second Life to go back and redo them. That would be, but I'm not. That's not going to happen. There's no. So I've got these houses. Yeah. Wow. What are these houses? This is interesting. So this is obviously, oh, now here we go. Oh, I can remember getting so angry with this. Right. I do remember streaming this one before. So this is a Victorian style kind of landowner's property, right? And I made it with, basement and all of that. And I can remember getting so angry with the physics on this. And again, I think it could be one of those things that I go back and revisit because this is actually a really nice building. I really like this building. But yeah, let's go back so we can see what we're doing. But yeah, I mean, look at the stairs. I made these amazing stairs. Yeah, for scale, this is obviously, a figure in Second Life. But yeah, I made these stairs, and we've got like I love this building. I really, really love this building, and I got so angry with the physics on this building. It was just, yeah. But again, I did an awful lot of detail that is probably, I mean, probably a little bit excessive. But, what I really loved was... okay. Where did I... The bit that I really liked was the kitchen. Where is the kitchen? So, I made some really, fireplaces and all sorts of stuff. Where is the kitchen? Maybe this is not the model that... So this is the one. Look at my stairs. So basic, but this was just to go into a basement, right? And I think the idea was that I would have a kind of a cellar-based kitchen. Or it could have been another building. But anyway. I thought the kitchen was actually here behind this door. But obviously not. Okay. All right. But anyway, really quite neat, chimney stacks and a rear door, and I built a kitchen and I had an Aga in there, and I had it was just I just loved it. I just really loved it. But then I tried to use it in Second Life, and again, I think now that I have a much greater understanding about how Second Life physics works, and people are, I don't know whether anyone's going to watch this, but people were, people were doing videos and they just leave out so much information, which I used to find so frustrating. Yeah, it used to just drive me up the wall. I can't remember whether, is this the bit where I've got the kitchen? This is taking so long to load. It's not that big. It's actually fairly low poly, really, considering the level of detail in there. Yeah, so this was the one that I had textured. Is this the one where I've got the kitchen? I don't think it is. I don't think it is the one that I've got the kitchen. I don't know. But anyway, you know, I mean, it came out actually really quite nice, and I quite liked it. I really liked it. Anyway, I think I might call it a day with regard to that. I would actually really like to hear from someone. I'm kind of back into this again. The understanding the physics, and I know I keep going on about it, but understanding how this physics works just reignited my passion for building in Second Life. And yeah, it meant such a lot, really, to have that understanding. And when I think back on the videos that I remember watching before, I think if I watched those videos again, they still wouldn't make any sense to what I know now. When I know that, you know, I could do a video about the physics on Second Life and probably produce a video that I would hope that an awful lot more other people would appreciate. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you've got this far and haven't fallen asleep or, you know, blacklisted me, thank you very much, and I hope to see you again in another stream. Let's see if I can do another stream.